MCAS Spring 2011 Grade 10 Mathematics. Question number 4. Question number 4 is in session 1 and calculators are not allowed. So let's read the question carefully. A contractor will use tiles to cover the floor represented by the rectangle below. We have a rectangle, dimensions of 13 1/6 foot and 9 2/3 of a foot. He's trying to cover it with tiles. So each tile covers 1 square foot and costs $2.49. Which of the following is closest to the total cost of the tile needed to cover the entire floor? And we are given 4 different choices. So we have, for example, a kitchen floor with this dimension, and we want to put tiles. Each tile is 1 square foot, and we want to see how much do we have to spend. So the approach is to find the area of your rectangle and then multiply it by the cost of each tile. So the area of your rectangle will give you how many tiles you need, right? Because each tile is a square foot. Then you multiply that by the cost of 1 tile and you find the total cost. So to approach this problem, we will try to round off our numbers for the length and the width of the rectangle, to make it easier for us to calculate the cost. So the 13 1/6 of a foot, let's see how we can round off that number. If you have a number line that goes from 0 to 1 and you divide the number line into 6 equal pieces, each piece is a 1/6 of the line. So your first line, the first point is a 1/6. If you come to this point, it's 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 1. 6 over 6 is just 1. 3 over 6 is the midpoint of your line, right? So if you here we are going from 13 to 14. It's the same thing. Instead of going from 0 to 1, we go from 13 to 14. Our midpoint is 13 1/2. So 13 1/6 falls to the left of, it's closer to 13, it falls to the left of 13 1/2. Because it's a smaller number than the midpoint, we will round it off to 13. So the first number is the length is 13 1/6. We're going to round it off to 13. Now the second number we have is 19 2/3. Alright, so if you have the same thing, we have a number line that goes from 0 to 1 and we divide it into 3 equal pieces. This is a third, this is 2/3, and this is 3/3 or 1. The midpoint falls right here between the 1/3 and 2/3. Now our number is 19 2/3. So it's larger than the midpoint of 9 1/2. So we're going to estimate it and round it up to number 10, right? So the next step is to actually find the area of our rectangle, right? So the area, we'll write the formula for the area is L times W, right? Is equal to, the length is 13 1/6, we'll write it as a 13 foot multiplied by width. Our width is 9 2/3. We round it up to 10. Alright, so it's 13 times 10, multiplying a number by 10, you will just add a 0 to the right of the number. So we have 130, a foot and a foot, so the unit of our area is square foot. Right? Now the cost of a tile is $2.49, which we are going to round it up $2.50. So the unit is dollar per square foot. That's the cost of 1 tile, right? It's $2.50 per square foot. This is the cost of one tile, right? So our area, which is 130 square foot, that is the number of tiles we need. So to find the total cost, we have total cost is the cost of one tile, which is $2.50 per square foot, times the area of our floor, which is 130 square foot, right? So when you look at this formula, as you see, the units will cancel, right? The foot square in the bottom and the foot square in the top of the fraction will cancel out. So we will only be left with $2.50 times 130, so the unit of the cost will give us a dollar amount, right? So let me just cancel the units. And to multiply 250 by 130, because we don't have a calculator, right? We'll make 130 into two easy numbers. We'll break it into two easy numbers, 100 and a 30. 100 is an easy number for multiplication, right? So the cost is equals to 250 multiplied by 100 plus 30, right? So this is again the distributive property of multiplication over addition. So we'll have 250 times 100 plus 250 times 30. So see, plus 250 times 30. So 250 times 100, all we have to do, because we have two zeros in 100, we'll make the number larger by two zeros. That means you move the decimal point 2 points to the right. So 250 times moving the decimal point 2 points to the right will give us 250. And 250 times 30 is also not difficult. So 250, we'll just add 250 3 times. 250 plus 250 is 5, plus 250 is 750. And because we're multiplying by 30, we'll add a 0 to the right of our decimal point, because that's what it's like 3 times 10. So the 0 will just move the decimal point 1 to the right. So 250 plus 250 plus 250 is 750. We'll move the decimal point 1 to the right. That will be 75. So 250 plus 75 is 325, right? $325, right? So our units are right. Our cost is $325. Let's look at the four multiple choices we have. 100, 234, 250, 320. So our answer is D, 320.